Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Shelton Slay Sunday. Woo! Very, very excited to talk to you all today, simply because it's difficult being in the house and not having many interactions. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to come on in. You can share this video if you like so that your friends and your family members can tune in if they'd be interested. So I will give you a moment to come in and get settled. Welcome, everyone. Get in here. So I'm going to give a disclaimer while we're waiting. I am going to try to always keep my videos at 30 minutes, and that's for a reason. Studies show that when we have live videos and stream that we check out after a moment. And so this is a heavy topic today. If I do not get to the question and answer section, please, please, please write your question in here and I will answer it. I definitely want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So before we get started, I, as a mental health therapist, right, this is a heavy topic. I want to go ahead and do a little bit of love and help everyone be able to kind of land together and focus. And so if you'd like to join me in this activity, great. If not, just give me a sec and let me get everybody grounded. So what I would like everyone to do is just kind of take a deep breath in with me. And exhale. And I want you to go to a time where you felt really safe and really happy in your life. It could be a birthday party, it could be Christmas, it could be a time when you were a child. And go to that time where you just felt really safe, happy, and comfortable. Do you have it? Okay, so with that time, I want you to look at the people who are surrounding you. Who helped you feel safe in that moment? Who helped you identify that you were happy? Is there one person that rises to the top? So I want you to imagine that that person is with you right now, that that person is behind you. And just imagine that they're putting their hand on your shoulder. And take all that energy from that person. I'm assuming they make you feel loved and safe. And now what I want you to do is imagine that they whisper in your ear. What are they saying? What are they telling you in this moment? So believe that we're going to get through this together. This COVID-19, it is really scary. There's a lot of unknowns. And so as we go forward and I talk about this topic, hold on to whatever that person whispered to you. Know that you are strong. Know that you are brave. Know that they are proud of you. And we're going to get through this together. So thank you everyone for joining me on my Shelton Slay Sunday. The very first topic that we are going to talk about today is the elephant in the room, which is the COVID-19. So if I was in the Senate right now, I would introduce legislation to have an emergency economic crisis agency, including a global pandemic response team to manage the financial part of the crisis. Now, this team would report directly to the administration, which means it could be the president, it could be the vice president, but we need to have an entity in place in order for us to be efficient and move forward together. What I would propose is that we waive all payments for testing and healthcare procedures related to COVID-19. This is really important. Thank you to Abbott. Abbott is a company that has found a way to get the testing time period drastically reduced. I spoke with a nurse. She's my sorority sister and she's my neighbor. So shout out to Sora Tracy Walker. And she works at Nebraska Medicine. What she informed me was that she was really trying to limit her activities because of the amount of time the test results were taken to come in. This is right here in Nebraska, guys. And so what was going on was she was serving patients and she was trying to preserve her PPE and not changing it. They didn't have opportunities to change it after every patient, right? And so the patient that they're caring for, while they're waiting to they don't know if this test is positive or negative, but they're treating everybody as if they have have it, which means that she was trying to limit her activity. But her walking into the room with the same PPE with someone who maybe doesn't have the virus, that's still putting that person that's in that hospital bed at risk. And so what she was explaining was, we're taking 2 weeks to get test results, and sometimes this person has been discharged. And then I got to go back and remember, wow, that was the patient that I treated. This is not a way for us to support our healthcare workers. Many of them are just assuming that they are going to get it, and that is not right, and that is not what we do as Americans. And so this is really, really imperative and important. And so when we are able, so Abbott, they created a mechanism. They have been working on getting tests for this COVID-19, and it delivers positive results in 5 minutes, negative results in 13 minutes, and they're delivering 50,000 tests a day, guys. This is amazing because this will allow us to test everyone. We can't really truly know what our numbers are here in Nebraska if we have people that they're not able to test. So there's another person, shout out to Glenisha Nelson, another member of Delta Sigma Theta. Her daughter was not able to get a test, although she presented with the symptoms, although the health department called and told her her roommate at UNO had been exposed to COVID-19. They refused testing for her because she did not have any breathing problems. So she was sent home. This is a crisis, guys, and we have to do better. And I'm glad, much respect to our current senators and congressmen that are moving forward with the bill. What I am explaining is that there's still much, much work to be done, guys, and we have to continue to put the people first. So I believe that with the legislation that I have, I would make sure that we increase Social Security and expand Medicaid federally everywhere now. Why is that important? Well, in Nebraska, the unicameral, we voted to expand Medicaid, right? But we did that in 2018. We are not able to access this Medicaid until October. Why? This is so crucial. We need to have access now. Our governor can do this federally. This should be done across the board to those other states that are struggling with this as well. And so that is something that we can do, and that is something that I would introduce. We need to improve funding for SNAP. It was drastically cut. SNAP, Meals on Wheels, an emergency food assistance program, and that's that TFAP. So this is important because this will give us access to food. And while we're dealing with this crisis, this will allow individuals who are typically people who receive Social Security. There's also Social Security disability. These are the at-risk population. They need to have money in order to get what they need. We also need to enact Department of Defense resources. So this would be the Medical Reserve Corps, that they have 200,000 volunteers. 200,000 volunteers. So let me back up. So there's COVID-19, and it's called COVID-19 because they found it in 2019 and because it has a crown. And if you look at the medical terms and definitions, there's so much research that you guys can find on this. The coronavirus has always been around, but this COVID-19, it's novel. Meaning this is a new strand. We have not seen this strand before. And how it moves from human to human, the interaction and how fast that it attacks your lungs and your throat and your body, it's at a rate that is scary and threatening. And I spoke with a doctor in Alabama who basically said, I'm staying in the hospital. I'm not leaving. I don't want to go home, and I don't want to infect my children or my husband. So I've been sleeping here. And although they have offered hotels, it's better for me to stay on site because at least I have limited PPE. If somebody walks across me in a hotel, I don't want to get it. What does that tell you? That we are still learning how this virus is transmitted. So if we're talking about what we know for sure is that one droplet. So if somebody sneezes on you, if somebody coughs and doesn't cover their cough and it's in your face, okay, we know that we have been exposed and they test positive or they know they have it, then you have been exposed. But how quickly does that move? And can we wash our hands or wash our area? Or is it if I inhale it, right? So there's still so many unknowns. So the best way for us to move forward is together, listening to those frontline workers and making sure that we're giving and deploying everything that we can and use in this moment. And so DPA, the Defense Production Act, has been utilized, and that's amazing. But the reason they were telling everybody to stay home and try to not go out unless you absolutely have to is because we were trying to flatten the curve, meaning that we didn't want everybody to overwhelm the system, right? We don't want people to come into the hospital and everything, the hospital infrastructure shuts down, meaning that we can't get into electronic health records, meaning that we have no room for patients there, meaning that we might not have enough equipment. And we've already heard instances like this coming from New York and Governor Cuomo. So I know I'm going a little fast. I'm trying to keep in with the 30 minutes. I promise, I will take your questions, and I think I'm doing good on time right now. So with the DPA, we're able to provide PPE to all medical staff and first responders when they are not using, that way they're not reusing masks. The best thing that we can do right now, guys, is to continue to shelter in place. And we need to do this across the board. So we know that numbers are high right now in New Orleans. You guys, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, February 25th. So this could have been in the midst of Louisiana. If you've ever gone to a Mardi Gras parade, it is you're shoulder to shoulder with individuals. And so if we thought that we had this under control and there was a plan, and there's so many people that are talking about items that are happening and what happened back then and people that are infected. What I want to do is encourage you and say that if we work together, if we help our brothers and sisters, if there is somebody that's at risk, if there's somebody that has someone with symptoms in their household, please make sure that you are giving them all the support they need so they do not have to leave the house. This is really important. Looking at places where the numbers are higher, they seem to be like New York, where there's more people in smaller vicinities. So the best thing that we can do is make sure that family members don't have to leave to go out and get medicine, supplies, toilet paper, and that they are able to care for that person right where they are at. The unemployment benefits. This is a really big deal, guys. First of all, we have a Federal Reserve. And using our Federal Reserve, what I would introduce legislation to provide a payment of $2,000 monthly to every American, every taxpayer until the crisis is over. If we suspend the student loans during this crisis, take all interest rates to zero, including credit cards, maybe that we would have a chance to survive. Because $1,200, I think that's a really good start, but we really need to do better, because what happens next month? What happens next month? Even the individuals that are working, there may be only one person per family that might still be working. And if they are working, they could be at risk and they could not be coming home to their family. So if we expand unemployment benefits to 100% of a person's salary with a cap of $75,000, guys, this will drastically help us. We need to give emergency paid family and medical leave for all now, and suspend evictions and utility shutoffs. This is very important. We have done this in Nebraska. I'm so grateful that we did. The same reason is because individuals might not be able to work. They don't have the money. And I'm telling you, $600 a week is not enough if you are the sole provider in your family that is not going to work. I've worked across the state. I've signed people up for disability. I've been an advocate. I've been calling and helping people apply for Social Security. $600 a week is not much when you have additional bills and a family to take care of. The other thing that we need to do is look at our incarcerated individuals and help that population. We need to suspend jail for technical violations. There are people that are in jail that are incarcerated, and they're simply waiting for a trial, guys. They can be exposed. I interned in Douglas County Corrections. I'm not sure if you've ever seen a housing mod. It's very difficult to be 6 feet away from an individual. Why would we put them in an area where they can be exposed if we don't really for sure know if they have committed a crime? Because there's individuals that cannot make bail right now. So we really need smart alternatives for incarceration and also with visitation. Free medical visits and treatment, hand sanitizer, protective gear, that should be given to incarcerated individuals as well. And also there should be a release for elderly and vulnerable population to go home or to go to a confinement area somewhere. So with my plan for the economy, I've shared before that I support Bernie Sanders' College for All plan, right? How does he play for this plan? It is a tax on Wall Street. It is 0.05% tax on stocks and trades. There's a 50 cents tax on every $100 of stock and a 0.1% fee on bonds, trades, and a 0.005% fee on derivative trades. What does this mean? That if there is a speculation fee at a very low cost, we will be able to give college, universities, we will be able to cover them and guarantee tuition and make sure that it is debt-free to the public. This is important because right now we have so many people that are in debt with student loans. And so the debt is like 1.3 trillion, guys. Americans having student loan debt right now. In his plan, there's also a cap on interest rates that it would be 1.88 moving forward. There's also a plan, the speculation fee that would be on Wall Street would also remove the current debt for student loans. And so that's really important. I think that helps us get to the next level. And I know I went through that quickly. I have 2 more pieces that I'm going to try to get out. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and start typing them. And I will make sure that I leave 10 minutes. So I'll go for about 2 more minutes and then I'll take questions. And so climate change is very, very big, guys. We need a federal law that is going to give incentives to farmers who are already doing this regenerative farming. This is very big. This is important because what they're doing is they are pulling carbon into the ground to help reduce the emissions that are going out. And it's a smart way for us to farm. We have people right here in Nebraska, farmers who have already started moving in this direction, but they're not receiving any incentives for doing so. So that's a big deal. We need to continue to push that forward. The other thing that we need to focus on in our economy, sorry guys, I just lost my notes. I was doing so good. Well, maybe I'll do a breath break and pause and see if you guys have any questions. Babe, can you be on my question duty?
On it.
Hi, everyone. Are there any questions?
Not now.
Okay. And so what the next area that I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to do this from memory and leave my notes down because I think I can get through it faster, is increasing the minimum wage. Guys, this is so, so important. We need a livable wage. So $15 is a start. That still may not be livable. We are the wealthiest country in the world. Why can't we pay our people a respectable wage? Shout out to all the grocery store workers. I have members in my family that are out here working at these facilities. We are so grateful for you. Super grateful for you. Thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. And I hope that there's an initiative to pay you more money because you are putting yourself at risk. And we know that and we appreciate you. Same thing for the nurses, the doctors, the physicians, the chiropractors, all these offices that are open trying to help individuals, the pulmonologists. Oh my God. All of these lung doctors are busy in the hospital right now. So I want to take a moment to say thank you to all those individuals. So my legislation would propose that we start with $15 and then for minimum wage federally across the board, right? And then I'd like to empower a research team to see where we need to go up to because I personally don't feel that $15 is a great start. However, there's so much research that says that it is enough, but there's research that says that it's a good start, and I support that. And so that's where I would propose that we start with the minimum wage. I think I got everything done, guys, with my 10 minutes left for questions. So what questions do you all have for me? To summarize, I talked about college and universities being free. I haven't talked about the 21st level education. I think that we need to invest in public schools, that permanently there should be a plan to start with early intervention to make sure that we have a 21st century education, that we focus on STEM and STEAM, including the arts. So that's STAM. And so science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. That we need to be able to help our students understand what they want to be already at the grade level of 6th grade. If we give them examples, if they have opportunities to explore, that will help strengthen them and understand exactly what they want to do as they go through high school. So I've talked about colleges and universities being free. I've talked about 21st level education. I've talked a little bit about climate change, regenerative farming, but also sustaining. We need clean energy. I'm in support of the Green New Deal. And so if you guys, everyone that's out there, Bernie Sanders supports it. There's a Green New Deal website. You can find more details on that. I've talked about what I would do with this COVID-19 and the legislation that I would introduce. And so going forward, I hope you guys are contacting your elected officials right now, because there needs to be another stimulus. This will not be enough to sustain us, especially with us having over 200,000 deaths in America. This is horrible. So I will take your questions. Thank you to everyone who has joined. I hope you are well. I hope that you are taking care of yourself at home. I hope you still have a routine. I was super excited to even just get up and put on makeup and talk with you guys, because I haven't done that in the past few days. I've been calling people on the phone. So I'm very, very happy that you get to see my face. We are well. I hope you are well. I hope you're taking this time to support local businesses. We had manja for pizza. We had pizza last night, and it was really, really good. And they were really busy. So I was happy to see that. Okay. Any questions, babe? You're on questions, Sudie?
No questions as of yet.
Okay. All right. So if there are no questions, then I hope that everything was clear. I feel like I was Speedy Gonzalez reading this to you guys. But what I would love to do is to direct you to my website. So if you have not checked it out, we are in the process of updating it and putting our new policies on there. And so give us about a week to do that. But it will be this week that we get that done. And so check out sheltonforsenate.com. We also will have yard signs. They will be delivered Tuesday. So please sign up for a yard sign if you're interested. We'll start bringing those to individuals. Please take the time to donate. I'm asking for your vote, for you to consider me as someone that you vote for on May 12th, because I know that I'm the best Democratic candidate to beat Ben Sasse. I have so much experience. I know how to advocate for individuals. I'm super familiar with Robert Rules of Orders and the proceedings that happen on the Senate floor. I have been a congressperson at my university, at Xavier University of Louisiana. Shout out to Xavier. I have been a leader in Delta Sigma Theta. I've been a president. I have run meetings. I know how to be timely, and I know about policy, and I know about research. I love research so much that I can be lost in research and not eat because I'm too busy learning new material and trying to identify what's going on. And so if you check out my information and you feel that I relate to you and we have some things in common, please volunteer. I would love, love, love to talk with you and make sure that we talk with as many people as possible. You have a question?
Well, it's more of a statement.
Okay.
Nebraska Medicaid should be put back in the hands of Nebraska and not a third-party company in Wisconsin.
Oh, 100% agree with that. Who said that?
That was Craig Matthew.
Yeah. So what I'm moving forward to, guys, is we need to put the power back in the hands of the people. We talk about being united. We say united, we stand. We talk about being indivisible. We talk about being one nation, but you don't see it right now. It doesn't feel like it right now. Leaders are supposed to inspire. Leaders are supposed to help you get to the next level. They're supposed to have hope. We need to bring love back. treat people with basic respect, and we should be able to give love freely. I love absolutely everybody because I want you to be successful. I care about families. I would never recommend a legislation of for unemployment benefits, $600 a week, because I know what that would do to families. I want your family to be healthy. I want your family to be safe. I want your family to survive this COVID-19, and we can do that together. If we treat everybody with love, then that means we can maintain that distance when we go to the grocery store, when you go to Sam's Club. That means that we know that, hey, there's some things that I need to do right now that may be a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it so that we can survive and move forward. And I'm going to do my best to shelter in place so that I don't put anybody at risk, so that I don't overwhelm the system and create a line of patients that maybe I could have contributed to keeping safe and keeping things on my end. So that's what I want all of us to do. And I hope that you feel that. I hope that you read that. I hope that you see that. And any questions that you have, I'm more than willing to answer them for you.
Okay, got one more here from Tiffany Marie.
Hi, Tiffany. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick.
Okay. I'm a Biden supporter. Are you willing to support him if he wins the nomination? I would love to vote for you.
Absolutely. So as a Democrat, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are really great candidates. Many of the candidates that I was inspired early on when we had so many people stepping up, because I think that means that across the board, all of us know that Trump has to go. The way that he's handling this crisis, and especially when you're making talk about the elderly population being expendable, what? Who do we get our history from? Who do we get our information from? So I'm going to support the nominee. And I think that we have great candidates up with Biden as well as with Bernie. So although I've talked about Bernie Sanders' plan, Bernie Sanders is the Democrat that manages the budget, that is like the chair of the budget committee right now in the Senate. And so basically what that means is we know that the president he creates a budget. He's supposed to be getting input from companies and various, however he gathers his information. But he puts a budget together, and it's supposed to be for like the next 4 years. And he presents that to Congress and then to the Senate. And so Congress and Senate in the House, we approve this budget. But our budget Bernie Sanders has been speaking up about it, and I value what he has said about colleges and universities. And so when me going and saying that I support somebody's plan simply means that with the research that they have done and what they have put out there, that the research points towards that being successful, and that's why I agree with it. Any other questions?
No other questions.
You guys were doing so good. It's only 1:28. Okay, so thank you for tuning in today. I would love to send you with love and light, and know that you are strong. It is harder to stay inside than it is to go out and shop for items right now. So if you do not have to be outside, if you are not, going to the mall, just haphazardly looking around for items that, could maybe take some time and wait a little bit, please try to continue to be that warrior that you are as you hunker down, shelter in place, so that we can try to flatten the curve and make sure that we don't overwhelm our resources, especially thinking about rural areas that don't have access to the hospitals that we have in Omaha. And so if somebody is in the area, let's say, I don't know where, rural Scottsbluff or further, maybe a smaller town. Let's talk about Lyons, Nebraska, because they're very small. They would have to transport an individual to Omaha if they needed a ventilator. Think about that. So let's love each other. Let's bring love back to the table. I am here for you. I'm also a mental health therapist. If you have any questions, check out therapistaid.com. So many good worksheets out there, guys. So much information. And I hope you're taking time to be grounded in the moment every single day. Something else? Any other questions? All right. Well, I love you guys. Be well. Thank you for tuning in to Shelton Slay Sunday. Woo! Bye, guys.